I have a few things to show you. One is the completed Bring Ideas to Life under paper accordion sketchbook. And I also, because I obsessed, I also I blocked out or drew the images for the other four accordion books that I made from my under paper. I am now at the point where I am really set on unlearning, letting go of these art rules that I have superimposed on the work that I create. And it's a mental game, you know. I have never liked learning about how to draw a face, learning about color theory, learning about, you know, the composition rules. I've never liked that. I have tried it all, but every time I am like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing so I can be a real artist. Every time I jump through those hoops, something in me kind of constricts. And I get a little lost. I lose my footing. I lose also some of the joy of what I do and the way I do it. So I have finally decided I'm done with that. I'm done with it being like in the front of everything. I know that some of this stuff will help me, but I'm not holding on to that anymore as anything remotely important for the work that I want to make. I'm unlearning things so that I can make the art that I am supposed to make. And I can't even tell you how freeing that is. So these sketchbooks, the Big Messy Drawing Sketchbook, they have been so vital in helping me get to that point. And it really has come through allowing myself to see the way that I see. I'm not drawing because, you know, some artist council out there in the cloud says you should have a daily drawing discipline. I'm drawing for the joy of it because it's helping me make the work that I want to make. And I'm still really drawing mainly by pareidolia abstraction. So I'm not sitting down a whole lot, you know, and like, oh, I need to draw this. It's happening some, as I've shared with you, but it's still not my heart drawing. My heart drawing is having the mess, the chaos, the abstract ground that then I get to pull images from. And that is like where it's at for me. And now it's just going to be a matter of allowing myself to play with all of the pieces and parts of things that I have created over, goodness, the last years, and pull them all together in a way that is really me and make that work. I decided to leave the cover of this one as is because it is a great reminder for me of how this started, you know, and the kinds of colors and just the nothing that was there. And I did say that I wasn't going to come back to this, but I did. I added some clouds and more color pencil layers to brighten that up even more. And I also inked a little bit over the background. I used Pitt pen, so India ink, and a little bit more green pencil here. And then the biggest change in this area is the flower. A flower was here, and I felt like it was another one of those moments to zoom in So there's like a figure coming off the page, so someone close to us. And I think I was editing this for something, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's a hand, it's a hand. So I just changed it, and the top of the flower then became another star that this hand is going after. And I tried to continue melding, the edges of these pages together. So there's a little bit of the hand now, and this, the blue coming into this scene. Let me zoom out some. I don't think I can get the whole spread in there. Okay. So this one was really delightful. And there's all the little faces in there. It was fun to create this, just to explore how to make the faces work. Where are they pointing? That kind of thing. Just the problem solving there. And the grasses, so much fun. And then I think one of my favorite parts was creating the light. And to do that, I think you've seen me do it before in one of the flowers. Anyway, I just take the pencil. I'll use my paintbrush because it's close. I just take the pencil and from far away and just do this. And it creates these great little haphazard marks that, like, I suppose people who really do like all the slow detail drawing, they could replicate it, but that's not for me. I don't enjoy that at all. So I enjoy the chaos of it. So making those marks is just cathartic. Okay. Then this one, I could go on and on about this spread. This grassy mound, oh my goodness. I don't know why I love it so much, but it just made the whole, no, it didn't make the whole experience. I think I like a lot of this sketchbook, but I really, really like this, this grassy mound. So let's start over here. I've got the figures doing their thing. And I do like the zoomed in perspective here, the wonky, like unrealistic perspective. And she's pondering like, what is this thing? And that she's the back cover. And I really loved where that landed because that's pretty much what the whole book was. It was me saying, what is this thing, So that was just perfect. And then this character, I think, is also equally in love with the grassy mound and can't wait to join the people that are walking over. And maybe they're going home here to join these fanciful friends. And so for this spread, I just needed to add detail to the faces a little bit. And then I added the soft grasses here too. A little bit of pencil work down here. I left the flowers there pretty abstract. A little more work here on the house, and I loved adding the stars. And that's it for this one. It was just so much fun. An absolute delight to create and to see. And that arm, just the outlined arm there, so much fun. And I don't think I didn't get you very close up here either. What an adventure. I mean, the whole book was just such an adventure. And let's see, the night before last, I took this one with me to bed, and I took my pencil boxes with me, and I drew out the shapes for this. And this is kind of like how I started this little segment. This book really helped me think through all of that. And this is what I kept wanting and hearing: let it out, which means I have to get out of the creative boxes that, like I've said, I've superimposed on myself. So this one, because there's no paint yet, it's going to be harder for you to see what's going on, but I'll flip through it anyway. And then at some point, for a fun little thing video, I will do a flip through of these books to show you how they've been finished. But here's another Unlearn. Let it out. I started this one with pencil, but it quickly morphed into more pareidolia abstraction. And again, playing with this perspective. And I used titanium white, which is something I don't use a lot. I usually mix white with other stuff. But I just wanted the space. In this one, I wanted to really simplify everything back down to it's like just the simplest expression. And so from this point on, there is no more pencil. It's just the painting the forms. Oh, I'm not even watching this. There we go. And there's a little figure down here watching what's going on. I've also really enjoyed having multiple light orbs in the sky. Just creating my own little worlds. I don't think I've really allowed myself to do that. Even though I am looking in the paint to create things that aren't there, I'm not doing real, like, portraits of real people or anything. I still have grounded myself in reality more than I realized I was. And so these books are helping me just kind of dive into shaping my own world. And back to the flowers, working with these imaginary flowers has been so helpful. So I'm glad I'm not a gardener, because I'm just working from memory, and it has helped me just create freely, So flower, and then here's a vessel with some, with like a plant in it. And then we're back to the start. Then this one kind of took me on a journey. I saw these two little shapes in the front, and then I saw the car, which just immediately took me back to my childhood, because I think I probably drew a bunch of cars and trucks when I was little. So it was super fun just to have this be the cover. And it'll, I think I have an old gel print that, like, maybe from during the pandemic, I think, that says "Go," and I always make several of things like that. So in my print stash, I want to grab one and add that as the title to this, and it might even fit over the part of the card here, so that'll be cool. And this book really, it was when it ended up being snapshots of different kinds of journeys. Some of them are moving, some of them are quiet. but they're all like just little snippets of places we go in our lives. So this one, I just saw this person being swept up into the story. And I think that really dovetails from this, like the childhood feeling. And that's what stories were. That's what they are. But really, when I was little, it was just being carried off into places yet unknown. And then that led me to this quiet table. And, you know, how nice it is to just sit in quiet with like a favorite food or beverage, or even just something that you think is beautiful. And that is its own type of adventure. So I don't know how well this is picking up, but there's a little vase here, so I'll add some flowers or a leafy planty thing in there maybe. This was so cool, this little cloth where the plate is. I'm telling you guys, this stuff was here. It was just here in the paint. And I had forgotten how much I love drawing the tableware or silverware, forks and spoons and stuff. So just making this crazy fork was just perfect. Bowl, cup. So I might draw in some other stuff here. We'll see. This is where, like, when you've got this space, this is where your old sketchbooks come into play so well, because you can, instead of sitting here, what should I do? You can just look at your old work and be like, oh yeah, I love that. And then you can plop that in. Or like maybe I'll add collage, like just cut out some shapes and stick them on here. That would be fun too. So one thing I have to do better is use my stash. I have so much stuff to work with. Printed things that I've had just sitting there for ages. They're wonderful starts for work. And it's really comfortable for me to sit at this spot and just use paint and the mixed media materials around me. And I don't reach over here for the stuff that's just like, what about us? So I'm going to do more of that. Then this leads into this blustery, windy day. There's a little figure. This is harder to see because of the gray, so I will definitely add more color. But anyway, there's a little figure here walking against the wind around their home, neighborhood, I don't know, trees and beautiful pink light orb. There's a little red pond. I love this path home in a crazy tree. I love seeing what's there. I don't know, it's such a delight to me. So much fun. And then we end up in the woods. And this is something that I totally don't paint. But I'm so excited to work it out, because it's a new something to add to my creative vocabulary. So I'm totally excited about that. Got a little pine tree here. Oh, and then there's hiding here. There's in this mark, like a figure in shadow. So I'll add some little details to this. And then we're back at the start of the adventure. So quiet woods, it's a beautiful place to be. And then just the journey around where you live, just allowing yourself to be where you are. So, and then the last one, this one really showed me, it was surprising. It was kind of like a one thing leads to the other type of book. And of course I didn't know that that's what was happening, but that's what happened in the process. So it starts with this figure in another light orb. These will be little flowers, and then there's a tree. Trees are now popping up. It's not just flowers, it's also trees. So that's how it starts. And then that leads to vessels with some flowers in them. I love creating vessels and like imagining them. I think I've mentioned before, if not here, then you guys who have followed me on YouTube in the past and stuff have probably heard me say that I would love to be a ceramicist. So this is my way to get that out. Plus when I do like sculpting, like making things like with the encaustic and all that. But this, yeah, definitely another way to create these imaginary vessels. And then that led to a couple of flowers. Oh, the other thing with this book, I wanted to, instead of working with the long part of the accordion, I want to just keep it in spreads or the single pages. So I alternated the colors to help me stay with that idea. So just free little flowers there. And then that led to flowers and butterfly and the zoom in, the perspective thing again. And also here, there's a little figure and big flower. And yeah, so that'll be, I can't wait to like come back to these and see what they become. And then that led to a figure with a butterfly and then a partial figure here. And probably what you can't see is that there's a hand, like I see a hand here holding onto the stem of a flower. So I will draw that in. And then this leads to a solitary figure. I love the abstract nature of this, so I don't think I'm going to work it up very much. Probably just do a little bit of pencil detail on this and leave it. And then that figure leads to the figure with the bird on her shoulder. It almost looks also like she's got home with her. There's some lines here in this block. And then a flower, the zoom in perspective again, bird, and then clouds. I don't know if you're tracking with me through all the different sketchbooks I've been sharing in the series, the Sketchbook Meandering series, and then through this month's vlog. But a lot of things are now like combining, they're merging. As I keep working in these sketchbooks, it's just fascinating to me to like how our minds, the subconscious works. Yeah, and it's just really cool to see it in this concrete picture form. And then we're back to flowers and the light orb. And also it's close, you know, that zoom in perspective. I've never done this much like zooming in stuff before, so it's just super cool to experience it. And then we're back to vessel with a big bushy plant or flower, and then the bird, and you should recognize these, leading back to this solitary quiet moment. So there you are. This has just been an amazing experience. I'm so thankful to be processing life and learning in this way. Art is such a beautiful tool. I have a little leftover paint from working on a painting. I've just opened this sketchbook, which has kind of become a catch-all now. Oh, I'm seeing a little face there. So I'm just gonna draw that in. Another one here. Neck, shoulders. This mark makes it look like the hand is pointing to something that we can't see on the page. So I'm going to draw that in, and then let this arm go behind there. Okay, then what is going on with this figure? Could bring it this way as well, but the way I have scribble on the paint, this area here actually looks like the nose. So we'll just make this a profile, and that means that I can use this little space here to block out the neck, and then I think this is a hand or something here. This is an arm. I love this part so much, just looking, taking the time to see. Okay. I'm bringing in a little titanium white just because it's a simple thing to add to everything. I wonder if I'll ever stop seeing birds. That was very satisfying. Just a few minutes with some leftover paint. And it's just a workout, you know, it doesn't have to get finished or be anything. It's just nice to be able to look into something and practice seeing. And then of course it's always here for you later if you want to come back and keep working. Just wanted to give you a little peek at things that are underway that I will be working on in the weeks ahead. The little sculptures here are ready for the encaustic touch, so that's in queue. And then I've been working or messing around a little bit more with the oil pastel trace monotype method, and I just absolutely love that whole process. It's so much fun. I just worked on this painting and I'm going to live with it for a bit. And I still have Tetra Pak. Here, I'm going to dump them out because I don't think I really showed them to you before. I just kind of showed the bag, I think. All right, if I can film. Okay. So these are just all little bits of whimsy that is of interest to me these days. And I'm totally looking forward to printing these up. And I mentioned, you know, that I want to do some sheen collé. So that's still on my mind. I've got my tracing paper here so that I can you know, trace over the parts of this where I want to add the collage. And then I still need to finish this one. So that's what is on the go